Hey everyone, welcome back to the turn-based role-playing game, the new project I've been working on. And I'm doing a little bit of tutorial, a little bit of just documenting the process and going through everything. Today, one thing I wanted to accomplish is to implement my the random enemy spawn. So every time you take a step, it'll give you a chance to encounter an enemy. And so I'm going to use an existing script that I made. It's called Danger. You're welcome to copy this down and use this in your own projects. So here's lines 1 through 21. Here's 22 through 42. And each time you just want to pause and then go through it. And yeah, so that's everything. I'll run through the code a little bit real quickly before we get into using it. But it has a signal, target reached, that we can connect to see if we encountered any enemies. It has a few export variables. One is whether it's on or not. The other two are its range. So this is the baseline for the amount of steps. So what it's going to do is pick a random number between these two, and we'll look at that later. So you can modify that based on your game or however you want to use it. Now this is set up for a grid-based movement to the best of my knowledge, if I remember right. Because it's every time the player moves, we're going to advance this. You can see over here in the methods that we're checking when the player moves. So we if you have free movement, right, where you can move in any direction or you can move by pixel, it's not based on a grid, you'll want to modify your range, or you might want to modify the source code to begin with, but you could just use a much higher range. So, and then we have enemies weighted, and that I use, if we look, well, let me throw Danger into the project and then we'll see what that looks like. So the general idea is that we want to put this into any any area where we want enemies to spawn. And so I'm going to do that in the cave for now. And I can actually just make this a class name, Danger. And then it'll show up in the when we go to add a node. All right, so that's something I just added to that script. So we have Danger. I might put this at the very top because we're going to be using this to set the enemies in the area. So it's enabled. We don't have any enemies set, but what we're going to do is put their names here. And then we can load those enemies from those names. And we're going to use a weighted array choose function. And the higher this number is after each name, the more likely that enemy will be to appear. So we can do that, and I apologize in advance. My allergies have been so bad. My sinuses are just like on fire. So that's the general idea with that. The in ready by default it's just connecting to its parent, which is the the room. So we're going to want to make sure we have that function ready to go in here. And this is going to be enemies. But you know what? We could connect it manually. I think this is fine though. Alright, so that's there. Global.player moved connect, that's fine. except our player's not going to be ready yet because danger is after it. So what I think I want to do is do this down at the end. What we can do is get tree, get tree.process frame. So we'll wait a frame, and then that'll give the player time to enter the tree. Now we could put danger at the bottom of the tree, and that way we wouldn't have to wait, but I want it at the top so that I can set the enemies more easily. I don't have to scroll down through the scene there. So we're checking for input. This is just a temporary thing. This toggles it. So say we're playtesting and we don't want to encounter enemies. We just do that. We re-roll target at the beginning. You can see here that it is within that range plus the base. One player moved. If we are enabled, we want to decrement the target, and when target is reached, we admit the enemy's weighted. And then we re-roll target. So what we can do there, maybe this needs to go into the game actually. See, my scene tree is a bit different. So you could admit this up to the overworld. I think that's fine. And then we can just bounce it up. Be like enemy. And yeah. Now in the game, we want, every time we go to a new room, we need to connect that signal. Whoops. Connect it. And down here, what if we could do this? And then we could put this here. So I just want to see if that's working at runtime. It's not. Okay, so I'm not going to do it that way. I don't know if we really need the overworld like that. Anyway, go to new room. No. I think I will do it. No. Just hate having that code twice. That's okay. Okay, so we have that. You're gonna need danger. And yeah. Now you could just connect it here, but I like doing it automatically through code. Let's see, what else do we need? It's in the cave. This might be a time I need to add some enemies, some new ones. So I'm gonna grab some art real quick. You can go ahead and pause, get some art for yourself. Alright, so I grabbed a couple enemy sprites. I'm going to go ahead and make new enemies down here. So we've got... I don't really know what we're going to call. We're going to get this. Fine with these defaults for now. Have to save. I don't know. Then we have just call it nutty for now. You can see we have different enemies, and so if we go to Sven's cave, I'm going to put our new enemies there. And the enemies weighted in danger. It's just sending that up. So we're not loading in the enemies yet, so that's something we have to do. We copy. Well, we can just do it again. Load. So we have so that's going to load enemies to that dictionary automatically. Then we'll be able to reference that. And you can see it's also setting the key to whatever the name part is. So we can use that to load in these enemies from this array. So when we're walking around, danger is incrementing, or technically it's decrementing. When it hits 0, it emits. That signal goes to the room where we're not doing anything with it yet. So basically we're just going to bounce this up. This could be a good time to use a signal bus. But we actually do need it to pass through the room. We don't need it right now. but I'll show you why in a second. Well, later on. But for now, we're just going to echo that up. And so that gets received by game. And then here's where we'll print that, just so you can see it as we walk around the cave. Enemy encountered. Overworld, because I'm doing this too early. Better yet. We're not doing it that way. I'm going to do it in the room. That's so loud. Looks like we have to give that variable. So make sure battle actor has key. And I think here we're going to have to pass that through. Alright, so we're not crashing. Now when we walk, we should see that print out eventually. Oh, we're not emitting the moves, maybe? Right, let's turn that off. See if we get it now. Yep, cool. So you can see every time that pops up, that's when we would have encountered an enemy. So since it's printing out, that means game is receiving it. So everything's working as intended so far. Now what we want to do is send that down to battle when we go to battle. So we make sure we set that before. Need to give that. And then we go to ready. Before we do that, we're going to use this. And it's just going to be like. And we're going to be enemies weighted dot raise dot choose weighted enemies weighted. And that's a helper script that you'll have if you download it off of my GitHub. It's already in the folder. You don't have to add it as a global. These are all static functions in there. So we get the enemy key. We get the enemy data, and then we do enemy dot data. We reduce spawn chance, and just gonna do it this way. Make it a little bit more. Oops, and this needs to be continued. Let's do it this way, actually. What's wrong here is it's So if we're not supplying enemies weighted, which would be in the editor, for example, let's do this. We call it glob. Here it's going to be enemy.data equals enemy. Also, really, this can be done at the top. And we can delete that. So spawn chance starts at 100%. Our default enemy data is pink glob. We loop through all enemies, which are the texture buttons in the battle. And for every one of those, they have a chance to spawn an enemy. If our random number between 0 and 1 is greater than spawn chance, we continue. We decrease spawn chance by 25%. If we have enemies weighted, if we supplied something to that empty array, then we choose from that using the weightings. Then we overwrite the enemy data. Otherwise, business as usual, we just set the enemy data. Either way, actually, we set enemy data from that. And if we don't override it here, it's going to be a pink glob. So let's go to, oh, this is wrong, actually. I have to look at danger. I think Right, so we're already doing that, so that's fine. Alright, never mind. So I want to get into a battle in the overworld. Menu cursor. What? Oh, enemies is a menu. I think I know the problem. Since enemies is a menu, we have to do get buttons. Let's try it again. So these should all be pink globs. That works fine. I'm going to run. We're going to go to Sven's cave. Beautiful. Now, I'm not sure why the one in the middle... Oh, we didn't hide it when we didn't spawn it. So if that, we actually want to hide that enemy. And... where do I queue free? Yeah, I don't think we need them in there. Alright, so we'll go up here. That looks right. We get into another fight. See how it's random? And out here this will just be pink gloves. But the number will be randomized because we are decrementing that, like how many can spawn. Interesting. We're not updating the name there. Probably, let's see. We shouldn't need that anymore. Yeah, we don't need to print that either. I think we can get rid of that. Because now our codes, we're setting the data manually. Uh-oh. Value. So, let's go test that out, make sure the names are right. Base nil. I think it's because the sprite is not loaded yet. Which is weird. Why would that not be ready yet? Just do that for now. And down here, all right, cool. I'm gonna take a quick break. Hold on, let me do this and I'll get a little note up. Excuse me. Oh, let's check the names first. Yep, names are loading. BRB. Man, allergies. Okay. So I am back. Let's see what this fight looks like. Definitely need to, I think, wait until the player's done moving. I'll just make a note for that. Yeah, which should be pretty simple. Well, that was if not, we return. All right, so here we do this. Let's see what that looks like. Oops. Oh no, we can't do it like that. Do. Well, I can't move now. That should fix that, no? Oh, it's not going through because we're pausing too early, so I don't even think I want to use this. We're just going to undo. And or we can keep it. No. uh, yeah, I think that's the way to go. And see if that gets the right effect. It's not a huge deal right now. I just kind of want to get it fixed while I'm here. Our danger break. Oh, I don't think we're emitting it at all. We want to do it down here. That's not right either. No, this needs to be signal. Oh my gosh. What are you doing, cat? Yeah, we need this now. On grid. Going back to this. If player dot I keep doing that. All right. It's working. Look, I can do it one at a time. It'll be more apparent, I think. Yeah, see how it's waiting until the end of the move? That's what we're looking for. A lot of work for a little effect, but I think it's important. Get down, cat. Get off of there. I want to do the same thing with the GUI. Oops. Yep. Uh-oh. don't think we have to do that on this one. Let's try it again. I'm not good. Oops. That's the wrong word here. I'm not going to worry about this part right now. Oh, interesting. We got into a fight at the same time. All right, I think I'm going to take a break. Seems like a good spot to leave off. You know, we got the enemy spawns fixed and loading in the data that we've selected randomly. So, yeah, good stuff. All right, let me know if you have any questions, any feedback, anything. All right, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time.